Welcome to Thursday, September 9th, 2021. Well, folks, it's going to be the September sizzle for the next 48 hours. I know a lot of you would like to be done with the summer heat. We've got a couple more days here where it is going to be really, really hot because we got a big dome of hot, high pressure overhead. However, the number of these hot days, they're numbered. They are going to eventually phase out and go away. Some of you will wish in a few weeks that these hot days would be back, but we've got 48 hours of hot weather coming before we cool off a little this weekend. Very modest cool down, not a big one. Early next week, another cool down's coming. You add the two together, and it will add up. Now, here's some good news. It's actually going to rain in portions of Oregon, California, Washington, and Idaho, and into the northern Rockies with this change coming this weekend. Will it be enough to put the fires out? No, it will not be enough to put the fires out, but it's not going to hurt either. Changes in the long term are coming. The writing is on the wall, folks. The middle to the end of September, we will see some changing weather that will make it feel and look a lot more like fall. Here's a satellite image of a large shot of the globe here. A couple of things, in fact, three things to point out. Here is Hurricane Larry out in the middle Atlantic, not bothering anybody. And then we've got Tropical Storm Olaf. And that is a tropical storm that may become a small hurricane as we get into the next couple of days here. But Larry's going to go off in the North Atlantic and not be a problem. Olaf is going to get directed out here in the Pacific and really not be a problem. And then the other thing to show you, here is this big, massive area of hot, high pressure. You see all this orange here? That is just a very dry, very warm air mass showing up in the water vapor imagery. And you can just see the water vapor going around the high in a clockwise fashion like this. This is why it's going to be so warm. Air is getting drawn right out of Arizona and into the northern and central Rockies. But you may notice up here on the edge of the satellite photo up here, some blue streaks, some gray there. Yeah, there's some weather out there in the Pacific and Western Canada that's coming. But this high pressure ridge has got to get to the east and break down, which it's going to. Now, if we were to take a look at the upper level chart for today, there is Olaf, there's Larry, and then here's the high pressure ridge. See this little guy right here, a trough off the west coast? This doesn't look like much, but there's actually some moisture with it. And this is why we are going to see some weather here in the next couple of days as the system goes by. This is today. This is by Friday afternoon. Notice the high gets pushed down a little bit. That front starts to move in. And then by Sunday morning, notice the high gets flattened out. Boom. That high gets flattened out. Notice the pink and red colors get suppressed to the south where the warmer air is. And then there's another frontal system coming in behind it that will arrive early next week. And then by Sunday night into Monday, here's that next trough coming our way. And this is what the precipitation forecast looks like through Sunday afternoon. Across the central Rockies, Panhandle of Nebraska, we're going to see some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Not a lot of activity, but some. But you can see along the frontal boundary here, the darker blue and the darker green. Look at this. This is the most we've seen back in parts of the Pacific Northwest in a while in terms of some decent measurable rain. Again, this is not going to put the fires out, but this is the best chance of at least some measurable rain the fire areas of Oregon and California have seen in quite a while. And I think there's more coming in the longer term. So hopefully that's going to knock down the smoke some. But with this high pressure ridge trapping the smoke, it's still going to be around here for the next couple of days, although it should thin out a little bit over the weekend. Now, here we are talking about the writing on the wall, these changes that are coming. This is by next Saturday and Sunday. Remember, when there's a ridge here, the west goes into a colder weather pattern. As high pressure builds into the Gulf of Alaska, northwest flow aloft will go into the western United States. We're getting more and more agreement in the long-range modeling that this high will build in the eastern Pacific. So our confidence is growing, and we talked about this yesterday. Around or after the 20th of September is when the bigger push of colder, more fall-like weather will come our way, and that is certainly showing up on our long-range charts today, and we'll keep you updated as we go into the next 7 to 10 days. But it's around that 20th or after the 20th, plus or minus a couple of days, we'll definitely see the door open to those northern latitudes. And if you were to look at the temperatures relative to average for this same time period, this would be next Saturday afternoon. There you can see the large expanse of colder than average temperatures that go from Greenland to the north slope of Alaska and then pushing into all of the western provinces of Canada. This is going to be some pretty cold air if this develops, and here's the high pressure and the warmer air building up in the eastern Pacific. So this is, what I would call a very typical first real shot of colder fall-like weather that's poised to come on in. So we're talking about something 7 to 10 days from now, but if you're a hunter, if you're going to be planning outdoor activities, you're going to want to keep an eye on that third week of September for some changing weather. This is the snowfall forecast for that same 10-day period, and notice, see this right here? There we go, starting to show up as signs that the snow predictions are going to be going up in that colder air. Lots of snow up into Greenland and the northern provinces of Canada, and even getting into maybe Yellowstone Park by next weekend or shortly thereafter. If we were to take a look at the northern hemisphere, northern areas of North America here, this is the current. What this is showing where the current snow cover and ice cover currently is. And I'm showing you this graphic because we'll show you this graphic over time in the coming days and coming weeks, and watch the snow and the ice fields begin to expand in the northern latitudes, because that will explain a lot of the weather that will come later this fall. And you can see the snow cover over Greenland and the ice up around the poles is pretty extensive right now, but you only have snow cover in the mountains of Western Canada, the higher mountains of Alaska. But all of that, in about 10 to 12 days, this map will start to look different. Have yourself a great Thursday. We'll have you an update tomorrow. We'll see you then. Have yourself a very good Thursday and try to stay cool.